what if a sublease tenant wants to remodel the space?
Yep.
So how does that work?
So usually, again, if you have, let's say that you've put in leasehold improvements for the first tenant, and you've put in X number of dollars for a 5-year lease term,
Right.
right? Then the subtenant comes along and wants tenant improvement dollars too,
Right.
to remodel the space. Then I usually look at, well, there's an unamortized portion or an undepreciated portion of that build out, right? So let's say you put $10,000 in for a 5-year. That's essentially $2,000 a year is what you paid
Right.
for that. Well, I take that $2,000 and I either ask the tenant to reimburse me for that last year, right? That's fine. I'll terminate your lease, but I need $2,000 back. And then I go negotiate a new deal with the new subtenant for maybe he wanted to originally take over for a year. Well, I'm going to go to him and say, I'm going to take the $2,000 that I got back from tenant number one. I'm going to throw another $10,000 at it, but I want you to sign a 6-year lease.
Sure. Yep.
And so you execute a new lease and extend out the term.
That makes sense.
Add new escalators, go through the full process with the new tenant. And really, from a landlord's perspective, that's a good deal. Because now I
Absolutely.
got somebody on the hook for another 5 years versus having exposure after 1 year.
That's exactly right.
So that's the way I would recommend to do it. Now, some might say, well, I don't want to pay the $2,000 back. And then it's just a business decision, right? Well, if I can get another 5-year tenant, do I give up $2,000 today to get 5 years of rental income at whatever the cap rate might be?
Right.
It might make sense. So it's a business decision at that point.
Exactly. And there again, everything's negotiable.
So anyway, so that's, again, understanding the assignment and subletting provisions of that lease is really important when you're trying to figure out how might this impact me if something goes wrong, if I'm the tenant, right? And from the landlord's perspective, you just want to know who's operating in your space. And you want reasonable assurances that you're going to get your rent payment every month.